So these are just cabinets from Menards, just standard off the shelf. They're unpainted. I've primered the outside, and then I put these cabinets up here along the top of the ceiling. My anticipation was that I would, since this is kind of an apartment room, I'd store food and certain items, but I've changed my mind. So I want to make displays out of them where I can backlight them. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them, and then I'm going to add an LED strip along the back. We'll go through that. Instead of just doing that so I can do this kind of displaying, I'm just going to convert these. I'm going to remove the doors. There's just a screw here and a screw here. And there and there. You can see I've already done that on the others. We'll take them off, and we're going to prime the inside, and we're going to paint them white. So to make the openings bigger, I want to remove these center pieces like this one has been, where the doors would close. There are screws in the back of that. Screw them in when they were built at the factory, and they basically take I think that's a number 2. It's a square bit. But they're angled down and angled up. I tried to cut them out, but I hate the screws. They don't have the equal number for some reason. Like this top one just has 1. I'll proceed to do that with the rest of them. And then I'm going to cut and get out of the way. I'm going to cut it here, cut it here. Same on this one. And then take those out. If anybody wants to comment how much faster a drill would be with a screw bit and impact, they can, because you're right. I do worry a little bit that this is some structure, because it does come in behind this board. It mounts into this one. But I am going to fix that here in a minute. I'll move the camera. I didn't realize that there was a bright light reflection in the TV. So, got my jigsaw. That was unfortunate. Here we go. There you can see the old screw holes on the back side. 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Jigsaw was better because I could see. Guess it wasn't glue. They're just slightly glued there, So I just went ahead and took a hammer and I tapped that one out. That one. So now they're gone. I'm going to trim this all the way around, hide this gap. One of the reasons for doing that is for the LED lighting. But in the meantime, I don't like these backboards. So we're going to cover those. We're going to cover these. I've got real thin pieces of plywood. I've already cut to length. I'm going to put a board here in the middle because these are actually 9 feet and I couldn't get a piece of plywood. It was 9 feet. So unfortunately it's going to have a seam. I'm going to see if I can't do something about that to try and hide it. But I want to put in the board, and ironically the boards we just cut are the same depth. They just need to be cut to the proper length and they'll go right back up in there. Seeing as how these are just standard kitchen cabinets, picked them up at Menards, unpainted. You can get them pretty cheap. They are a standard length of 18, I believe. By 30. So ten and a half. And then I had measured this earlier, 45 inches. For 13 and a half. So now, time to go cut some wood. Yay! Well, we're getting it started. A nail gun, let me tell you. A brad nailer would be the trick. Just a suggestion. Now I'll go back with a punch. Ding, ding, ding. Tap them up in a little bit. We're going to find these. Do a couple there. And then we'll do that one. Now, if you see concern about these gaps, I have plans for those. The gaps back there along the edge. And then I'm going to face this, so this will disappear too. Now we'll just work this one down like the last one. I've got 2 here, I'll get 2 in there. Sorry, it's hot. My mini split decided to split. It blows, but it doesn't cool. Anyway, the front seems to be of a solid pine structure or something of it, so it's a lot more difficult. The back, I think, is just a pressed particle board, so the nails are going in a lot softer. Might even consider gluing it, but it's up there, so I'll just put more nails in it. I'll go from there. Like I said, I have got a plan for the back and the side, so I'll deal with that at that moment. Now we're going to add some facing trim. Now, magical how it just happens to be the right length. And come down just a little bit. And I'm just, 16th along the bottom, because I need it to overhang the top quite a bit, or as much as I can, which is for the LEDs. I put in a couple of soft holes and screws. So I got to put it back up there because I need the measurements for these, so I can go ahead and get those cut, get my back pieces in, then I can paint. Yay! Now this is just basic trim from a big box store. Basically a rectangle. It's cut to be just a little bit bigger. Oops. Got these thin sheets of plywood. Thin. 3/8, maybe a quarter. 5/16. 5/16 probably. Cut them 38.5 by 15. Well, it's not pretty, but I kind of figured it out. Found our clean edge. Go in like this. And then you bend the end that's on the bottom. Here's where the board would split. And there you go. here's what we've done so far. Put just regular baseboard trim around the outside after we cut the center out for the doors, where the doors used to close. Plywood on the bottom. Got to figure out that center cap. Plywood on the back to cover up the ugliness. That'll get a little caulking around it. And then I know there's gaps, but I've got trim idea for there. I still need to tink 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 use a punch to set all the nails. And let me tell you, you have a brad nailer, that's the ticket. That'll be soon. Gonna have to stop for tonight. It's getting too late. There's other people in the house and the hammering is keeping them awake. So next we paint, and then after paint we start with the lighting. So if you've enjoyed it so far, please help me out. Give it a subscribe, a like. It's up to you. But there's a lot more to come. All those little nail heads. Got to get them flush or just below. So basically I'm going to take this punch. It's about the size of the nail head. And my trusty little hammer. Typically you do this on baseboards. Put it on the nail head. And it recesses it. Then you can take a little wood filler. I'm going to go around and I'm going to hit all those. On a previous installation, I had put in these 12-volt LED lights, so they will stay here temporarily. I'm going to keep these white ones in here until I can get the integrated chip color RGB ones that I bought, the SK6812s. There's going to be a video that's going to show the installation of those. This is what I would call the end of phase one. I used the white lights, the LEDs that I had up there to begin with. This is just kind of to give me an idea of where I want to go forward. I have a lot of glass up there right now. That's not the way it's going to stay. I'm just trying to see how it reflects off the different sizes, the bottles. It's a little busy. That I'm going to take care of that. But that kind of gives you an idea of what the white light in the back's going to do. Now, here in a couple weeks, maybe next week, week after, I'm going to post a video. I have a string of LEDs that are addressable. Each one of them has a chip on board, so each LED can be changed pretty much independently. I'm going to set that up through WLED. I will do a video on how I put all that in there and how I set that up. There's also going to be a string along the back. That was the reason that I think I mentioned somewhere in the video that I'm not too worried about the gap back there, so it'll shine down. I will set that up with Home Assistant. I don't know if there'll be any automations in that, but I will be able to control it that way. With the addressable LEDs, I should be able to change sections, so maybe different colors, different graphics, just to see how that goes. Things that I might have done differently. The face of this is a little bit shiny. I went with a semi-gloss paint. I was doing that so the inside will give me some reflections like you can see up on the top there. But it may be a little bit too much for the face. When the bright light for the camera's not on, I can see some of the lights. You can see, I think, one on the TV here somewhere that's been kind of an annoyance to the whole thing. but it kind of just shows too much and maybe a little bit too glossy. I also underestimated this gap between the two boards. If anybody in the comment section has any ideas, whether maybe a little plastic T-track to go in there, with the lights on and shining the camera, you can really see it, but with just the bedroom lights you can't, but I know it's there. I'm not too upset about the gaps that are showing here. I kind of like metal work and I like the industrial look of it. Some people won't. You could fill this. I had issues. I am close to water and I've had issues with some of it cracking before. So, I don't know. I kind of like that look. I'll probably do a trim, maybe kind of a beveled trim around the outside. I haven't quite got that far yet. But, like I said, there's kind of phase one. And then, like I said, a video's coming on colored LEDs and the setup through WLED. Anyway, give me your thoughts. If any of this helps or if anything like that, or you want to see more projects in the future, because I have a bunch coming. We'll see how it does. I hope everybody does well. Have a great day. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the future. Goodbye.